Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before starting the video, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button and give this video a like up. I thought that the Go Home episode of SmackDown before Money in the Bank was a solid show. There was a lot of stuff that happened during the course of the night that I felt got me all pumped up for the upcoming pay-per-view in a good way. And isn't that the whole point of a Go Home show? If you were unimpressed by SmackDown and disagree with my assessment, feel free to voice your thoughts and opinions in the comments section below, even if it differs from my assessment. I would love to hear your take. In any case, I thought that there was much to like about this episode of SmackDown, and I have separated the highlights from the show into the best and worst columns for your enjoyment and pleasure. There are way too many rumors doing the rounds about who the SmackDown hacker could potentially be, and one of the names that has come up time and again is CM Punk. And WWE just decided to lend further credence to those rumors on this week's episode of SmackDown by doing the whole static thing when the vignette started. Look, whether or not it is CM Punk, it probably won't be him. The main thing to remember is that the threat of the SmackDown hacker is real, and every single team in the locker room will have to look over their shoulders at all times. SmackDown has needed these dramatic moments, and I am glad to report that this is one of the most interesting things to have emerged from the minds of WWE creative in some time. This can be a big boost for Mustafa Ali or Shorty G, or whoever else is cast as the hacker. In the past, I have complained about pay-per-views being a little too bloated, but I just think that the lack of the Intercontinental Championship on SmackDown is not just affecting the upcoming pay-per-view, but even the weekly show. Of course, we know about Sami Zayn's absence from SmackDown is the result of him not agreeing to come into work during the ongoing pandemic, but I still feel like it hurts the blue brand. And I feel the same way about Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross not being a part of SmackDown this week or Money in the Bank this weekend. It is especially a matter of concern in their case, because the Women's Tag Team Championships have hardly been booked in any substantial way on either Raw or SmackDown. And I just think that so many women could have been elevated hard they've been featured prominently. Maybe after one of the women grabs the contract will we see the return of these titles to SmackDown. SmackDown stars Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville hadn't gotten a chance to showcase just what they are capable of once upon a time. Fast forward a few months, and they have proved that they can bring their inherent fire and desire to shine whenever the situation so demands it on WWE SmackDown. I genuinely thought that they were one of the best things about this week's episode of WWE SmackDown. Yes, both of them showed an immense amount of skill, but the trash talking that happened during the match is what set it apart from almost everything else on SmackDown. Because now it seemed very personal indeed. They say that nobody has better chemistry in the ring than real-life best friends. And on this week's episode of SmackDown, Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville prove that they can potentially be the Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn of the women's division. I also thought that Sonya Deville winning this week's match was the best thing that could have happened for her as a performer. I know that SmackDown superstars are supposed to be men and women who act differently from the norm and are more violent than your usual everyday people, and yet, I still cannot understand the impetus for King Corbin, Otis, and Daniel Bryan to climb a ladder in an empty arena and retrieve a briefcase for absolutely no reason at all, to close out the show following the main event match on SmackDown. Not only does it defy logic, but I don't think the audience cares about who manages to retrieve the contract on the Go Home SmackDown show. I find Otis to be one of the most entertaining superstars in the current SmackDown roster, but one could sense that he would be the mystery partner from a mile away when King Corbin cut a promo disparaging him. It wasn't all bad though, because I really liked the part where the actual ladder could not support Otis' weight. There was absolutely nothing wrong with the whole Bray Wyatt and Braun Strowman segment in the middle of the SmackDown ring this week, but I don't think it was necessarily exceptional television, to any degree. We saw Bray Wyatt invade the Miz's home before their match, and there wasn't a very horror movie feeling to the proceedings this time. To be honest, while this was one of the high points of SmackDown this week, I just didn't feel like this was Bray Wyatt's best work. Because Braun Strowman cut such an imposing figure, in an ideal world, he would have used mind games to completely cripple the big man before their match at Money in the Bank 2020. Also, because it is Bray Wyatt and not The Fiend, we also know the result of the contest, and that made the whole SmackDown segment seem a little less exciting than usual. The December 2024 edition of WWE SmackDown delivered a whirlwind of excitement and confusion. with some highly intriguing segments and storylines that sent fans buzzing, while others left them scratching their heads. A particularly striking angle was the potential return of CM Punk in an unexpected role, further teasing the long-awaited return of the WWE legend. At the same time, a series of odd booking choices, including the absence of several top champions before the upcoming Money in the Bank pay-per-view, took some of the shine off what could have been a perfect evening of SmackDown action. One of the most compelling and unexpected developments of SmackDown came in the form of an in-ring segment that immediately sent shockwaves through the WWE universe. The segment in question featured a series of cryptic videos that aired throughout the show. These videos, which were seemingly hacked into WWE's broadcast, featured distorted images, garbled audio, and odd symbols, all of which seemed to be clues to a larger mystery. While cryptic video packages are not new to WWE, the significance here lies in the fact that many fans began to believe that these mysterious videos were part of an angle involving none other than CM Punk. Punk, known for his rebellious nature and outspoken demeanor, has long been a topic of speculation when it comes to potential WWE storylines. The idea that Punk might be behind the hacking of WWE's broadcast felt like a perfect fit for the kind of unpredictable chaos that Punk is known for. This storyline not only taps into the lingering desire for Punk's return to the company, but also creates a thrilling sense of anticipation. The potential for Punk to be revealed as the hacker offers a fresh angle for his return, something that WWE could use to build up a new chapter in his storied career. The ambiguity surrounding the identity of the hacker kept fans talking all night, with theories ranging from Punk to other potential suspects. It was a masterstroke in keeping the audience engaged and invested. Money in the Bank is one of WWE's marquee events, known for its high-stakes ladder matches and the thrilling drama that comes with the opportunity to cash in a contract for a title shot. With the event just around the corner, SmackDown did a solid job of building up the stakes for the upcoming show. While the absence of several champions raised some questions, the show still provided valuable momentum for key competitors heading into the big event. SmackDown featured exciting segments leading to the announcement of more names for the men's and women's Money in the Bank ladder matches. The crowd was electric as superstars like Seth Rollins, Ricochet, and Liv Morgan got involved in qualifying matches, showcasing their hunger for a shot at the coveted briefcase. These segments are often the best part of the build to Money in the Bank, as they allow for intense rivalries to heat up and new alliances to form. The matches were fast-paced, high-energy, and served to remind fans why Money in the Bank is such a thrilling spectacle. Even without the champions actively competing for their respective titles, SmackDown still delivered with matches that set the tone for what could be a wild pay-per-view. While the excitement of the Money in the Bank build was evident, SmackDown did not go without its share of disappointing moments. Perhaps the most glaring issue was the conspicuous absence of several champions leading up to Money in the Bank. With the event just days away, many fans were puzzled by the absence of key champions like Roman Reigns, Universal Champion, Asuka, SmackDown Women's Champion, and Gunther, Intercontinental Champion, who were nowhere to be seen or heard on this particular episode of SmackDown. The absence of these champions created an odd atmosphere. Money in the Bank is designed to be a high-stakes event, but without the reigning champions actively engaging in the build-up, the show felt somewhat incomplete. The champions' lack of involvement left the SmackDown roster feeling a bit underwhelming, as if the main event talent were taking a backseat to the up-and-coming challengers. From a storyline perspective, the absence of the champions made it difficult for fans to fully invest in the narratives. Roman Reigns, for example, has been one of the top stars in WWE for years, and his absence before a major pay-per-view event such as Money in the Bank was baffling. His presence, even in a non-wrestling capacity such as a backstage segment or a promo, could have elevated the show's intensity and added an air of unpredictability heading into the show. Similarly, the lack of attention on Asuka and Gunther was equally perplexing. Both are dominant champions in their respective divisions, and their absence created a noticeable hole in the SmackDown product. While the undercard talent put on great matches, the champions' absence undermined the overall stakes of the show, leaving fans wondering whether WWE was fully committed to building excitement for the upcoming pay-per-view. Another issue with this episode of SmackDown was the overuse of video packages and cryptic hints. While the teaser videos involving CM Punk were a fascinating touch, they were not the only cryptic segments featured throughout the show. WWE seemed to rely too heavily on mysterious video packages to tell its storylines, leading to a somewhat repetitive and drawn-out narrative. The hacker angle is intriguing, but WWE risked overhyping the mystery without providing enough context or payoff. Too much reliance on these types of angles without substantial follow-through can result in frustration among fans, especially when it comes to long-term storytelling. The teasing of a return, without giving fans anything substantial to latch onto, might have lost its effectiveness by the end of the episode. WWE runs the risk of oversaturating the audience with cryptic content that lacks real progression. While the tease of CM Punk as the hacker was a fantastic hook, it could have been executed better with fewer, more impactful moments. As the show progressed, the constant wave of encrypted video packages began to feel more like a marketing gimmick than a meaningful storyline development. Overall, this edition of SmackDown was a mixed bag, with moments of brilliance and moments that could have been handled better. The tease of CM Punk's return as the WWE hacker was undeniably exciting and kept fans on the edge of their seats. However, the lack of involvement from key champions like Roman Reigns, Asuka, and Gunther before Money in the Bank left something to be desired. The overuse of cryptic video packages also detracted from the flow of the show, making it feel a bit like WWE was trying too hard to generate buzz without delivering a satisfying payoff. As the company heads into Money in the Bank, it's clear that SmackDown has the potential to be one of the most exciting wrestling shows on television. However, WWE will need to address the lack of champion presence and refine their use of cryptic storytelling in order to ensure that their momentum continues leading into one of the most anticipated events of the year.